Because Russell Westbrook is probably going to, throughout his career, be a highlight guy, a stat guy, but he'll have nothing to show on that resume. He'll be one of the great players of all time because we'll look at him because of the triple-double that he's done now 3 years in a row, and you're going to go, wow, what a great player he was. But those who watched him when he was playing, so 20 years from now, when people look back on Russell Westbrook, they're going to go, wow, he must have been really great. He was very talented, but he didn't have a team that did anything in the postseason. You know, he'll be a guy, and you know, the NBA has players like this, stats without results. And Russell Westbrook will probably be a stat guy without results. They had the Golden State Warriors on the ropes. They ended up losing, and that's as close as he's probably going to come to an NBA title. And I do like him. I'm fascinated by him. I don't think he's a playoff guy and a regular season guy. And there's certain guys who are just built for a regular season. You know, this night, 2 nights later, another big night, 2 nights later, another big night. But in the playoffs, it's you got one game, and then you face the same team again, and then you got another game, and then the same team. And you got to be able to figure them out because it feels like they figured you out. The Blazers are saying to Russell Westbrook, go ahead and shoot. And you know what he's doing? He's shooting. He's playing right into their hands. Doesn't mean Oklahoma City won't win this series. They could come back. Maybe they win tonight. But I look at Russell Westbrook and go, he's just one of those guys who's going to be, there'll be a fascination with him when he's all said and done. And there are other guys. You know, Pete Maravich was like this. He was just a stat guy, but his team didn't do anything. Alex English with the Denver Nuggets was a great stat guy. Dominique Wilkins was a great stat guy. But, you know, he's always going up against the Celtics, so he never got that chance to play for an NBA title. You're going to have these players throughout history. It takes away. Allen Iverson is one that comes to mind, but he did go to the finals in one of the worst teams that I ever saw in an NBA finals, and he somehow got them there against the Lakers, and they actually won a game. But Russell Westbrook is going to be, I think, when it's all said and done, a guy we look back on and go, yeah, talented, great numbers there. And you can see why Kevin Durant probably said, I'm not winning with this guy, and if we're going to be measured by how many championships, I'm going to get out and go win a couple. I'm going to cherry pick a couple of championships here. And then, you know, my legacy is sound. It's firm. And I can put my name in the hopper of, you know, one of the 15 greatest players of all time. If Kevin Durant doesn't have any titles, if he's there with Russell Westbrook, he's not going to be one of the greats of all time. You know, not on the short list of top 10. And Durant may be even higher than that when it's all said and done. And I think the media puts so much pressure on these players of winning a championship. And I think Kevin Durant, being as sensitive as he is, said, hey, you know what? I'll get a couple of titles here. LeBron, same way. LeBron couldn't get anybody to go to Cleveland. LeBron would not be in the conversation, greatest player of all time, if he didn't have at least 3 titles. He just wouldn't.
If Russell Westbrook is a great player that just puts up stats, wouldn't Reggie Miller and Charles Barkley be in the same category? Because they didn't win any championships and they're great players. Would you put them in the same category as Russ?
Yeah. I mean, you know, Charles Barkley got to an NBA Finals, lost to the Bulls. You know, it feels like Russell Westbrook at times is the reason why his team doesn't win. And that's the difference between Reggie Miller and Charles Barkley. Because, you know, Reggie was very economical when it came to how many shots he took. He wasn't a volume guy. And Charles was unique. The NBA had not had anybody like Charles Barkley at that size to do what he did. And Russell Westbrook's an unbelievable athlete. I just don't know if he's a great leader, great team player. And I think that there are times when he hurts his team. How many great players of all time can you say, yeah, but he hurt his team? You know, LeBron this past season was hurting his team because of defense, but they weren't trying to win it. They weren't going to compete for a championship. But he did hurt his team at times because he didn't play the other end. How many other guys can you think of where you go, you know what? He hurt his team.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.